right, 5, 4, 3, 2. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Pure Evil MMA. I'm your host, as always, Evil Eddie here from the East Coast, and today we have a very special guest joining us for, well, really a vet to Pure Evil MMA here, and we've watched his entire journey, which is why I really felt it was really important to get him on today's show. We got Jose Shorty Torres joining us here today. What's going on, Shorty? How are you doing today?
What's up, man? I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right, man. One of the biggest reasons why I wanted to get you on the show is because basically, as soon as I heard this news, and just to catch everybody up that might not be aware, the UFC recently, this week, a couple days ago, let everybody know that the flyweight division is now shut down and out of the UFC. Now, Shorty, I want to get your initial reaction, but first, man, I just want people to be up to date a little bit with, you know, your entire journey here. For the past, 3 years, I've been following you, and the story with you was, why hasn't he signed to UFC yet? You've done everything you could do over at, Titan FC. You finally make it this year, and I tell you, man, that day that you made it, I was driving around the town listening to Drake. It felt like, one of our own made it. It felt like it was such an amazing feeling. You went in there, you had the fight against Jared Brooks, which was, highlighted on ESPN. Everyone was talking about it, so what was your initial reaction when you found this news out, and how did you find this news out?
Well, I ended up kind of making a speculation. I have my own YouTube series called Inside Team Shorty, and in one of the videos, I talked about DJ being traded to ONE FC, and how people aren't looking at the bigger picture, which is the flyweight division. You look back at, when DJ was champion, he was UFC world, record holder and the most title defenses, and even then, Dana White wanted, or at least threatened, to shut down the division. So it's like, wait, you wanted to shut down the division when we had the best thing the UFC had to offer, and once he's gone, what do the flyweights have to offer now? Honestly, from a business standpoint of view, nothing. I think we're all extremely talented, and I thought there was a lot of opportunity there for a possible new champion, and seeing where it would have went from there, but. They immediately wanted to cut it, and I ended up calling Mick. He said, no, we don't have any thoughts. And then a couple days later, he's like, okay, yeah, we're having thoughts. And then a couple days later, well, I received my, my walking papers, and it's just one of those things that, it sucks because I've worked so hard to accomplish what I've been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. No one in history has done what I've been able to do as both an amateur and as a pro this fast, and I get cut after only 6 months in the UFC.
So I asked Jared this yesterday. I was like, when Dana had that rumor going around when he was kind of beefing with DJ because he didn't want to take that fight against TJ, did you kind of have a feeling in your gut maybe I should change weight? Because for people out there that don't know, you actually fought as a bantamweight before as well. You made weight as a bantamweight, and you won the title as a bantamweight.
Yeah, I wasn't worried whatsoever. It was just really and more extremely disrespectful to the flyweight division because, again, you have a champion that might not be a Conor McGregor status when it comes to promoting and your money cow, and that's cool, but that doesn't mean you should treat such a champion with that much disrespect. And that was the bad thing is, you're just mad because he's not allowing a money fight to happen. Now, I think the news is out today that Cejudo and TJ are fighting for that money fight, even though the flyweight division is 100% guaranteed to be shut down. Why are they doing that? End the flyweight division with a bang, which, hey, it's cool, it's kind of respectable, but it's the fact of you're cutting down the division, but you're still having title fights, but you're not giving anyone else a chance, and you're still in the process of cutting everyone. So it's false advertising. It's not cool. I get it. It's a money thing. They want to make TJ a two-belt champion, which I easily believe he will against Cejudo. But, I think the UFC is now becoming too much of a WWE hype, type of thing where they're now just trying to make money fights instead of the common sense fights.
So, like I said, as a bantamweight, man, you had 2 fights left in your contract. Why didn't the UFC offer you to do, finish out your contract at least as bantamweight? Why do you think so? Why do you think that reason is?
Well, from my perspective, one, I never really got much respect at all because of my resume. If I did, I would definitely want to enter the UFC with the basic 10-10, 12-12, 14-14, and 16-16 contract. But it was the fact of I had the 9-day notice, then I had the 20-day notice in a 2-month span. So I cut about total 54 pounds in 2 months total. That's almost half my weight as a flyweight. And, hey, I lost my last fight, but I went on a 33-fight tear with 5 title defenses in the process, and I lose 1 fight, and that's the excuse of why I'm being cut. At least that's what it states in my release papers. Is because of your last loss, we're going to release you, and we're going to speed up the contract. And it's like, that. What's the point of the contract? We have 4 fights. I lost 1. Usually you lose 2. We'll probably negotiate, or you lose 3. Hey, it's a guarantee. But I wasn't given that chance. I mean, you look at Louis Smolka. No offense to him. He's a great fighter, but he lost 4 in a row until he finally got cut. So it's more, in the UFC now, it's more of who you know and what you can do to get by instead of the talents you offer and the resume that you came in with.
So, are you talking to other flyweights out there? Like, what's the word that everyone else is sharing amongst one another?
Yeah, I've talked to plenty of flyweights: Mark De La Rosa, Eric Shum, Joey Sanchez, Jerry Brooks, Scoggins, Ray Borg. I mean, Alex Perez, my former opponent. There's so many guys that have reached out. Wish me the best of luck. Me doing the same, and it's, it sucks because it's kind of like prejudice for a small guy somehow. It's one of those things that you never would expect in the sport of, hey man, we're all competitors, we're all fighting to stay alive, we make it to the pinnacle of the sport, or what we believe is the pinnacle of the sport, and they go, you know what, we're not cutting you because you're bad, we're just cutting you because you're tiny or you're small. Sorry buddy, have a good day, good luck.
Listen, man, like, honestly, why do you think, what are the reasons why they would even get rid of an entire division? Do you have any ideas?
My biggest thing, and I did a couple interviews and they brought it up, was, WME, after they took over, I mean, they spent, a couple billion, to acquire the UFC, so they're definitely trying to make their money back, and I think we've seen more big, popular money fights than ever, which, hey, that's great for, the UFC. Obviously, people are watching it, but the problem is that they're trying to also save money as well, and I think part of it is no one wants to pay a multiple-time defending champion like DJ. That's why they traded him. They're like, okay, well, he's good. We're done. And now you have the flyweight division that has nothing else left to offer. Why pay these small guys extra money when we don't even need to have them at all? When people don't even watch them. Again, you look at the flyweight history. How many times was DJ a main event for his title fights? Maybe twice, 3 times at most. But the only other flyweight main event was Sergio Pettis and Brandon Moreno in Mexico City. 2 Mexican fighters. That makes a bunch of sense. But after that, there's never, ever been another flyweight main event from my knowledge. So, once again, the money cow DJ for the flyweight division is gone. Why spend more money on a division that no one watches? We've only been on UFC Fight Pass. You look at one of the biggest fights in history for flyweights, Sergio Pettis versus Joseph Benavidez. I think at the time it was like number 2 versus number 3 for a possible title shot, and they were on UFC Fight Pass. No one even knew who they were. Unless you're an MMA veteran or a guy who knows the sport, it sucks to see, and it's really belittling for us small guys, and I think it's honestly to save money and make money somewhere else.
When you went home that night, after the hype kind of died down, everyone's going on social media, you finally lay your head down on the pillow. What are you thinking? What's going through your head the other night when you found out?
Well, the crazy thing was I found out in the morning. So I found out, at 8 in the morning, though. That was the first thing I woke up to. So that wasn't the best start to a day because, again, you're a kid growing up, all you think about is UFC. The UFC is now NFL to arena football, and there's AAA ball, but everyone wants to be in the major leagues, So it's one of those things that, like, no one knows any other promotion besides the UFC, so it's the most popular. Hell, people don't even call it MMA anymore. They go, hey, do you do UFC? Yeah, I do UFC, bro. Hey, that was actually kind of nice to say for a few months. But, for me it hit me hard, and then after that, I had so much outpouring support in a matter of hours, mainly when I finally made it public, and I ended up being kind of the front runner of this little flyweight movement, and it's freaking phenomenal. I've had so many people. I've had promotions already hit me up. I'm going to be in Bahrain actually today. I leave in a few hours to get ready. I actually still got to go pack, and I'll be in Bahrain commentating for Brave and the IMOF, and Brave is another promotion that has given me an offer, and that's something we're going to talk about this week. So it's one of those things that I'm not gonna be sitting down on my butt. I'm ready to fight now, and I'm just excited to hopefully have somebody really take advantage of my background, of my resume, instead of just going, you cool, we'll put you to fight, 9-day notice, good luck. Oh, you lost? Oh, well, you're cut. You know, so I'm hopefully going to get some respect, whether it's ONE FC, Brave, KSW, or Ryzen. You know, so we'll see what happens next.
I mean, there's not a doubt in my mind that these organizations are interested in some of the bigger names like yourself, especially after what you've accomplished. But like you said, the main goal has always been getting to the UFC. But there's been a lot of changes going on lately. So do you think going to another promotion will actually be better for your career?
Oh, 100%. I think mainly if you're a flyweight, I think it's going to be a phenomenal thing. I mean, you look at ONE FC doing this Grand Prix, which is going to have so much hype, mainly with Eddie Alvarez in the lightweight division doing a Grand Prix as well. I think, you know, double teaming those divisions is going to be freaking phenomenal for ONE FC. You never know what Ryzen's going to offer. I mean, look at Kyoji Horiguchi, given he's a Japanese fighter in a Japanese promotion, but he is 100% set. And even talking to him in person, he goes, dude, I don't even care if the UFC offers me another deal. This is the place I want to be at because they respect me. They give me everything I can even possibly ask for or dream of. Same thing with, you know, ONE FC. Adriano Moraes is a good friend of mine. Same thing with, I can't say his last name. I think it's like Karab Megoff or you know, one of the former champions of ONE FC in the flyweight division. And both those guys have told me that they've had phenomenal times in ONE FC. And same thing with KSW. That's another big promotion that has a lot of UFC veterans that were cut, and they go, dude, I'm actually getting paid more here than I was in the UFC, and they respect me so much more. I mean, now I have a full training camp. Now I have things, you know, accompanied to me, and then everything's just taken care of. So that's something I'm really looking forward to, is finally being respected as a true professional fighter instead of how I was in the UFC. And honestly, it was extremely demeaning.
So just to get things straight, just so we know exactly what's going on with you, you're not going to be trying to move up to bantamweight and then try to find another path back to the UFC. You're actually going to stay at flyweight and pursue your career there, and, you know, hopefully get the respect that you've definitely earned. That's the plan?
Well, that's not the whole flyweight thing for me. I started my career at bantamweight. You know, I wouldn't say I was forced down the flyweight, but I saw some great opportunities. You know, did that. I mean, half my career as a professional now, and even majority of my career as an amateur has been at 135. As an amateur, I fought 45 and 55. So, you know, the case is my most popular fights have been at 35. It just so happens all of my knockouts have been at 25. You know, so be it. It's part of the sport. Smaller guys easier to knock out. Bigger guys that put on a bigger and better show. But for me, I don't see why I can't do what I did in Tennessee anywhere else. ONE FC, Brave, you know, Rising, KSW, all these promotions are great and honestly up for the taking for the next big star. It's something I want to be somewhere. And again, I was able to do it as an amateur. I was able to do it in Titan. I don't see why I can't be the poster boy somewhere else. And that's something that I want to do, is first fights at 35, not just for me, but maybe even a nice little shun back of, you know, looking at the UFC and go, hey, look at that, I got a belt somewhere else, whether it be Brave and all these other promotions. It's like I want to prove a point, not just to myself, but for the fans that saw my last two fights, for the UFC that, again, they were extremely disrespectful to me, and, you know, just to see what happens next. I want to win both weight classes no matter where I go, 25 and 35.
You think it's a little weird that they're opening up female divisions that don't have enough fighters in it, but yet they're going to close down an entire... I mean, this is a lot of guys who just lost their job overnight. It's a really weird way of going about business. You think it's a little weird they're doing this for the women, but yet cutting the guys?
Not so much, because the women, honestly, you look at, you know, for example, Montana De La Rosa, she's a phenomenal fighter, but no one knew her until she got to the Ultimate Fighter. You know, I don't know, they're like, oh, she's pretty. I don't know if she has 35,000 followers. That's freaking phenomenal. But you look at Justin Scoggins, for example, you know, he's been a UFC veteran for years. He only has like 600 followers on Twitter and about the same on Instagram. You know, so it's the fact of what do people want to watch more, and you look at it as the average fan. It's usually the guy that goes to a bar to watch, you know, the fights for pay-per-view or on Fox. So you look at it from their mindset, they would probably rather see pretty women, and I say that, you know, with like quotations around pretty, you know, pretty women to fight, because it's more of a show. You see, you know, two people fighting, but then, you know, again, for guys, sadly, they're looking at goods. They're looking at this. Look at freaking Paige Van Zandt and Rachel Ostovich. You know, that fight's boasted up, but they're both, I don't believe, not even close to being ranked. But for some reason, oh, it's boasted. Oh, why? Because they're showing some skin and they're attractive females. You know, so it sucks for the guys because we can't do that. Because if we do that, we look weird now. But it's one of those things that's like, hey, you're trying to build divisions for women. I think that's awesome. Women easily deserve a fair chance in the sport as well. And they're growing 45, 25, 35, 115, maybe even finally adequately in the UFC division. But, we'll see what happens next. I wish nothing but the best for all the women to come up, but it really does suck that the guys, get the boot after being there for so long.
I mean, you kind of nailed it on the head when you were saying that the UFC, after they get, sold the company for billions to WME, it's kind of turned more into an entertainment business. I mean, they're bringing in Brock Lesnar, who just, is on suspension and is on like a 2-fight losing streak, and they're going to give him the title fight. That says everything right there about what the agenda over at the UFC is. It's just turning into the WWE side of MMA. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I kind of, I totally understand why they're doing that. But for Mighty Mouse, he didn't really fit their mold, and I felt like he's more of a purist, where it mattered more about the actual fights over the entertainment aspect. And there is an audience that really appreciates that, especially over at ONE FC. Those guys go crazy just for the actual talent over there. So I once interviewed Justin Gaethje, who told me, he was like, what's moving up in MMA? It's making a paycheck. So you do believe you would make more now outside the UFC because 100%. Of this?
If I don't make more, I'd be extremely surprised. Because again, no one's been able to do what I've been able to do in my short time as a professional. I've only been pro almost about 3 years now. So, in less than 3 years, I was able to, again, look at it when I was 5-0, which I believe I should have gotten my UFC debut then. I was 5-0 with 2 belts and defended one in the process. Conor McGregor did that in Cage Warriors at 14-2. So I did it 3 times as fast, and I defended a title, which Conor's never done. So it's one of those things that I was doing things not just to make it popular or because this guy did it. I was doing things and more to prove a point. I'm trying to create a legacy like Manny Pacquiao in boxing. That's what I'm trying to do now as an MMA fighter. But there's so many promotions, and that's the best thing about this, this release is it kind of opens up my eyes and opens up the rest of the flyweight division and go, oh, wait, there's actually so much more out there than just the UFC. It just so happens the UFC is the most popular right now in the States, but go over to Asia, I mean, their following is ridiculous. Go in Europe, they're following, you see again with Ireland, they go everywhere Conor goes. Same thing with the Brits when it was Ricky Hatton. They went everywhere Ricky Hatton went. It's the same thing with all these other countries, but the US, they just stay in the US. So for me, I'm truly excited to see what happens next. But again, you brought up a freaking phenomenal point. You look at the money fights. Freaking Brock Lesnar's coming back after being banned for PEDs, but John Jones gets banned for PEDs and everyone blames him, but Brock Lesnar's like, whatever, he's a wrestler, who cares? Oh, celebrity fight, hell yeah, I want to watch it. You look at Derek Lewis, he didn't even want a title fight, but he says his balls was hot, I don't know, he gets 600,000 Instagram followers, and the next day he gets a title shot in about 3 weeks. It's like, oh wait, I thought Curtis Blades was #1 ranked, and he technically deserved a title shot. Oh, you're going to make him fight Francis Ngannou, a guy who just lost 2 straight fights and is now below the rank of Curtis Blades, but Curtis Blades had to fight him for a possible title shot? I don't believe that makes sense. You look at just anything. Josier Formiga worked all his way back up, lost a split decision to Cejudo, worked his way back up. Now he deserves a title shot. He's #1 rank in the world, but TJ gets to automatically bump down and get a title shot, So it's like, it's not fair to Josier Formiga. He worked so hard, but the money fights. Darren Till never even deserved a title shot, but he knew how to talk and he was popular. Same thing with Cody Garbrandt. He never deserved a rematch against TJ because he never even defended the title once, but because it was popular, they made it happen. So again, you have to look at those type of fights, and it's like, oh no, that makes a lot of sense now.
It seems like you got your taste in the UFC. Like, that was the main goal. You got there, and, it is what it is right now. You have a positive mindset, which I always like about you. I think that's what a lot of people like about you, which is why I was so interested to hearing your take on this, man, because we've been following you for a very long time now, and it felt so good to get you in the UFC. But now this is even more exciting. Like, what's next? Because this has been a huge year for other promotions, Bellator, ONE FC, the PFL. It's just one championship. It's just going on and on. KSW that you brought up. There's a lot of promotions out there that are getting more shine now. So this is only another step forward in your direction, in my eyes right now. At least that's the picture that you're painting for me and the audience tuning in right now. Am I right there? that you're taking this very, very good.
You're 100% right. Again, I had so many people supporting me, and for all, everyone supporting me. I wouldn't be where I'm at today. That's why, like you say, we will together. We are Team Shorty, because if it weren't for anyone, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I'm telling you, the outpour of support, not just from fans and family, friends, but I had so many fighters, and even veteran fighters or former fighters, come to me and go, dude, you're perfectly fine. You're 26. You have nothing but time. There are so many more promotions than there were back in the day when we fought, that you are set. Trust me. I promise you. And you look at, again, ONE FC, DJ went over no problem, because he ended up pretty much making more money than he was going to make in the UFC. That's freaking amazing for a guy who had 11 title defenses, now making more money somewhere else. It's 25s or a necessity for some of these promotions, because some of these promotions are building a new flyweight division. I believe KSW just made their bantamweight division, going to make a flyweight division soon, possibly next year. Brave has their 35-pound champion and is actually making their first inaugural 25-pound champion this weekend coming up. You have Ryzen, who is Kyoji Horiguchi, who's easily right behind DJ, and then you have ONE FC who's doing this Grand Prix. So I think it's freaking amazing to see what's going to happen next for mainly a bunch of these small guys.
And before we let you go, you bring up one last really good point. You're so young still, man. I mean, there's a lot of fighters out there that are almost in their 40s right now, and it's like, shit, what do you do if something like this happens? So you are in a good place, Shorty, and I want to thank you so much for coming on Pure Evil MMA. I mean, this was actually a very positive interview. It really was. So I thank you, man. Keep your head up, and you know what we always do at this point in the interview. I hand the imaginary microphone over to you if you have any sponsors, which you're going to get more of now. That's another plus side.
It's actually a huge plus side. Yeah. I thought about that yesterday, and I was like, oh my God. Because you look at when Brendan Shaw was talking about it, it's like he made $2,500 his first Reebok fight, and then but before that, he's like, I made $100,000 off of sponsorships.
And he proved it too.
Yeah, he's like, I made more money with sponsorships than I did fighting, So I'm extremely excited for that. But we'll see what happens next. But man, I gotta be positive, and that's, I got a big head. If I keep my head down, I'm gonna fall over. So I gotta keep my chest high and just stay as positive as possible. Yeah, but if people want to follow me, Instagram, Jose Shorty Torres, Twitter, Shorty Torres 125, Facebook, my fan page is Jose Shorty Torres MMA, and if people want to follow my YouTube series, it's called Inside Team Shorty, where I give the reality, the truth, everything behind the scenes of the sport of MMA. And then lastly, TeamShorty.com, everything ships worldwide. If you guys want to support me, it really does help a lot, but it mostly helps the kids in my gym. 20% of the earnings go to the kids in my gym so they can travel, train, and just stay off the streets. And the cool thing is I'm actually going to be starting an ambassador program to help a lot of amateur fighters on their way up, because we all know we need some help.
Really quick, straight before we let you go, a very important question. Why was I seeing headlines that you were like one of the first to be cut? What's up with that? Is there truth behind that? And why?
Yeah, I was the very first one to be cut.
What's the reason for that, you think?
The reason for that, so really, I brought up the video, and it built up some decent hype where, MMA Junkie retweeted it, BJPen.com retweeted it, I think it was on Flow Combat, and I was like, oh, wow, thank you guys, I appreciate it. So I ended up having my manager call Mick just in case, like, hey, I know this is a speculation video, just all rumors and stuff, just me, talking the talk, but I feel kind of spot on. Do you think of anything? He's like, no. And then immediately I found out first. So for me being ahead of the line, I was like, all right, cool. It's either it can be positive for me or I'm going to be the first one on the chopping block. And sadly, I got cut because of it. It was the fact of we wanted to do two things. We either wanted to positively go, hey, I can fight at bantamweight. Let me prove it. Since you're not cutting it till 2019, let me bump up a bantamweight, maybe a last-minute fight in December, and let me prove it. If I don't win that fight, then okay, cool, you have every right to cut me. But they never gave me the chance, so just in case, it was if I get cut first, I can reach out to these promotions first before the whole flyweight division bombards every single promotion out there. So, I'm just trying to be ahead of the pack and see where it goes from there. And once Flow Combat made it public, I said I definitely got to take this platform, and I'm not one to shy away from the spotlight. I thought it was a smart thing to do, and because of it, again, it wasn't what I was going for. I got so many fans and followers and just really a lot of supporters because of it, but that wasn't what I was going for. I just wanted to put out a message and kind of give out an open warning to the flyweight division. Go, hey guys, if you have a fight coming up, you're not just fighting your opponent, you're fighting to keep your contract and possibly your job.
Shorty, thank you so much for joining us, man. We're excited for this next chapter of your career. So we'll talk to you soon. Hopefully things will get situated by the end of this year. We'll keep you updated, or you'll keep everybody updated. So make sure you guys give him a follow on his Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. The links are down below here on the YouTube, iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Stitcher. Shorty, have a great day, and thank you so much for joining us once again on Pure Evil MMA.
Thank you.
Here we go, guys. Shorty Torres, man. I mean, I was absolutely crushed. Like I said at the beginning of this interview, I've been following him for so long. And shout out to Jody, our girl Jody from Pure Evil MMA family. I remember asking like 3 years ago, I was like, guys, is there anyone you want me to interview that I can reach out to? And she tweeted, let's get Shorty Torres on. First time I ever heard of him. I go check his page out. I watch some of his highlights. I'm like, oh my God, we have to reach out to him. We got him on the show, and that's actually down here below on the YouTube channel. We've had him on the show quite a few times since then. We've had him on at least like twice a year, it feels like. I think that was probably his 5th time here on Pure Evil MMA. Maybe, I think it's the 5th time that he was on here. And once he made it to the UFC, it was such like my ninja, we made it moment. You know what I mean? Like I was just in such a good mood playing Drake. Like one of our own made it. Like we got to watch. And I say this all the time. One of the best things about what I do is talking to these young up and comers and watching them make it to the big show. And it seems like Shorty, he got his shot. He even got his ESPN highlight from the Jared Brooks fight, and he got a taste of it. And sometimes you always think the grass is green on the other side. And he got a taste of it and realized, hey, I could be making better money over here, or I could be doing... He's keeping a positive mindset, and that's one thing that you got to love about Shorty. That's what makes a lot of his followers is because of that positive attitude. So I'm excited for the next chapter here. If there's any way to take this, it's got to suck. We've all been there. When you lose a job, it sucks. But it seems like this, like you said, opened up some doors. He got a taste of the UFC. There are pros, there are cons. But right now in 2018, other promotions are blowing up. So if there's any time that this could have happened, that should have happened, if there was any time for this to happen, right now is probably the best time. Because like I said, there's other promotions making their name, being noticed more. We knew this was going to happen with the UFC, that we were going to see changes like this. The second that Dana got in that little argument with DJ, you know, anger brings out the realness in people. Like, if you're going to fight with one of your friends, you start throwing low blows of shit that you shouldn't be bringing up. Dana hinted, like, this is on our mind. Oh, fine. We'll dissolve your division then. You don't want to take this fight? Fine. We'll wipe our hands clean of flyweight. And I'm kind of shocked that it actually happened, but I'm at the same time, I'm not. I think what's most shocking about it all is how the UFC constantly just rips the carpet out from underneath a lot of the fighters without them knowing. Just abruptly. These are people's livelihoods, their income, their paychecks. There's a lot of guys that probably went home that we know went home that night, biting their pillow, banging their head against the wall. You know, you think that after all these years of grinding and trying to make it to the big promotion, that you would get some sort of VIP treatment there. Like, you know, like you belong. Like, show some respect. And I feel like it's not that way at the UFC. And it should be. I mean, they have their favorites, obviously. And I'm not trying to bash the UFC. It's my favorite promotion, obviously. Most of the stuff I talk about on here is about the UFC. But this is not a good look for a promotion to abruptly, constantly do this to their fighters. Cancel contracts or just do this, like, just dirty stuff like, we're more powerful so we can do this. And you can't say anything about it. I don't like that. I know a lot of people out there that won't even watch UFC anymore because of these kind of shenanigans. It's just frustrating. I'm really happy that we heard from Shorty. That meant a lot that he checked in with us here today. We did speak to Jared Brooks yesterday and Mitch RAPOSO, who also gave their 2 cents. Jared Brooks, man, he's only had 2 losses in his entire career. One of them being to Shorty Torres on Shorty's debut, where Shorty was losing in that fight. And then Brooks went for the takedown and pretty much knocked himself out. It was all over ESPN. You know, Brooks looked amazing in that fight too. Dropped Shorty with a spinning side fist or spinning elbow, I think it was, he got him with. And I remember being at the edge of my seat screaming at the TV. And that was Shorty's debut. It was such a good feeling, man. And when he got the win that way, it was, man, that's what the sport's all about. And it's very upsetting to see an entire division just wiped clean. But after talking to Shorty, man, it leaves you on a positive note. Like, maybe this is a better idea for some of the fighters. We are seeing so many people leave the UFC for other promotions, whether it's Bellator or most recently ONE FC. Eddie Alvarez, Mighty Mouse, Misha Tate just got signed as like the vice president, I believe. And Shorty Torres, man, he has a huge name, a huge following. Any company, the second you hear that somebody like that is on the market, you grab them. You grab them quick. You offer them as much money as you can because he is still so young, not even in his prime yet. He's accomplished so much, things other fighters have never accomplished. It's just upsetting, guys. Make sure to subscribe down below. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA. You can follow me on Twitter at evil_echo. That's EVIL_UCCO. Also on the gram at Instagram at Pure Evil MMA_. Here on YouTube as well. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, make sure you guys do that. YouTube.com/PureEvilMMA, because I know that we have thousands of listeners on Podbean, Stitcher, Podomatic, Spotify. This week, over 800 downloads just on Podbean. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. It means the world to me to check my stats and see that. But it would mean a lot if you guys hopped over to the YouTube channel as well, showed some love up there, give us some thumbs up. We are trying to break 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully by the end of the month. If not the end of the month, definitely by the end of the year. We need that super chat. Get me that super chat. We're so close. We're close to 500 subscribers right now. 500 more. Let's get it, guys. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA. MyMMAnews.com, guys. White knuckles to the end.